Good. We'll start in just a minute. People are still joining. I will put the training materials in chat. You may already have them. But I will put them in chat. They're the same as what you should have if you got it with your original confirmation, but I will put it in chat for those of you that would like to follow along. You don't have to. All right, welcome. How's everybody today? Okay, good. Here's what I'll introduce myself in a minute, but here's what the day looks like is that 3 hour training. I'm gonna talk for the better part of, I don't know, 2 hours. We'll see. And we'll take a little break. We'll come back, we'll practice this together. And then I'll make sure you get connected with lots of resources for how you can keep learning, keep practicing, yeah, keep doing Flash because it's like one of those things you can get trained in it. You can be like, oh, that's cool, but if you don't find a way to use it, you're not gonna use it. And yeah, it's a super cool tool. So again, I'm going to give me a second. I'm recording. I'm also putting in chat the materials if you need them, the training materials. Again, it's the same file I just put in chat if you're here, but a few new people have joined. You may see it in chat a few more times. And if you get disconnected, you come back, then that's okay. Let me know if you need it. Good. A little bit about me. I'm Tom Zimmerman. I'm a EMDR trainer and therapist in Ohio. Um, I've been training this version of Flash for 5 years. It's been 5 years. It's hard to believe. And I've been doing trainings mostly for free, at least every other week for the last 5 years. So I've done really hundreds of trainings with tens of thousands of therapists. Um, so I'm like, can't believe that I'm still a little bit in shock that I can say, hey, why don't we get together on a Thursday evening and do something cool and people come. It's like it's a pretty cool thing, pretty cool thing to do. So, and training Flash is one of my favorite things in the whole world. I mean, if I could, it feels like if I could do it all the time, that's all I would just train Flash all the time. Um, and hopefully you'll be able to see why. Hopefully you'll have a chance to see why Flash is, again, I really do believe that what we can learn from Flash is going to change, or at least what we can learn from what Flash can teach us about what a brain is and how we heal and how we might be able to heal. I really do believe it's going to change how we deliver mental health services globally in my lifetime. Really do believe it. Because if Flash were a pill, we'd be lined up. We'd be lined up for that pill. And this does it for free. Okay. Um, Also, one of the things I've been really busy at is the intersection between how we train you and the clients that you seem to see the most. Do you ever go to a trauma training and you're like, okay, well, that'd be great if my clients were embodied enough to notice, or my clients weren't phobic of slowing down, being present with themselves for more than a millisecond. Um, and really just kind of helping us translate the trainings to actually working with the people who need to heal the most. right? Because healthy people are going to be okay. It's really, really complex clients that probably do need to heal more than anybody else. Okay. So page 3, what this training teaches you, it's 7 steps. And if you're like, oh, this is 7/8 as complicated as EMDR, no, it's a 20th as complicated as EMDR. So don't judge it by the number of steps. This is a pretty, again, it takes me about 52 hours to train you to work with a healthy person in EMDR therapy, and it takes me about 3 hours to train you to work with a client with complex trauma in Flash. So um, it is astonishingly simple when we understand the kind of brain that we're working with. So again, 7 steps. We're going to try to figure out when something's not going well and then strategically intervene to help get them back on track. So, and we'll talk about ways to incorporate Flash if you're an EMDR or any other therapy that you do, not just EMDR. If you're an EMDR therapist, when do you use Flash? When do you use EMDR? When to use Flash? When to use parts work, right? And how to do this. Yeah, we're going to talk about how to do this in individual sessions and really learn about ways of getting help going forward. I offer literally 80 free hours a week of support. I mean, 80 hours a year of support, 80 hours a year of free ongoing support in doing Flash well between the weekly Flash practice groups and the biweekly free consultation groups that I do. So I really want to make sure that y'all are able to do this well. But let's jump in, and this is really important. First, Flash was developed by an EMDR therapist with a very specific agenda. It emerged with a very specific agenda. The EMDR therapist that developed it's named Phil Manfield. And he was looking for something that could take heat out of memory so that he could clean up the debris in it in EMDR therapy. And who wouldn't want to go into a memory at 2, 3 instead of a 10 or 10,000? So if that's what Flash did, then that's worth a training, a 3-hour training on a Thursday evening. But listen to what Flash did. It made a 10 memory a 2 or 3 memory. And then you could go into that 2 or 3 and clear it up. Are you aware of any other resource that does that in like 25 minutes? Why would something almost completely resolve something and then stop there? I think what a lot of us learn pretty quickly in Flash is, what if we weren't doing it absolutely ideally? And if you do it in an ideal way, then maybe why wouldn't it fully resolve a memory? Why would something quickly take a 10 and make it a 2, but yet leave it at a 2? So this version of Flash and several other versions really are designed around full adaptive resolution of the memory. And my clients resolve whatever they target the vast majority of the time in a single session, largely painlessly, and with remarkable, not impossible, but remarkable little risk of decompensation. We are working with real trauma. Things can go sideways, but you just don't hear about Flash causing the kind of resonance and decompensation that more intensive trauma therapies cause. I didn't say it's safe, because you're working with trauma, but it's orders of magnitude safer, more contained. Every single minute checking to make sure that your client is not overly activated at all. Okay. Flash is hard to train conceptually because there's not enough distress in it for many people to believe it's real. We're attached to the 135-year-old narrative that you have to have a certain type of catharsis. You have to have a certain type of whatever, and that's fed to us, right? Professionally, that's fed to us through media, whether it's Goodwill Hunting or whether it's whatever it is. It's fed, It's fed to us through many, many, many different ways. But Flash involves two incredibly non-intuitive things that if you haven't done Flash, you probably haven't done them in the service of your recovery. And I want to talk about what I mean by non-intuitive. Where do we get our intuition from related to how we heal? A lot of that we get from the cultures around us. Okay. For instance, the cultures around us, including families and extended families and neighborhoods, they have a huge footprint in deciding what we can even count as trauma, right? What forms of wounding make sense and are legitimate and which are, they have a huge footprint in deciding how we should carry that trauma and how we should deal with it or whatever. They have a big footprint in helping us, shaping us, in which trauma therapies are woo-woo and which are like legitimate, which work and which are weird. So Flash is culturally weird, okay? And the very first non-intuitive element in it is that we're looking at a memory blindingly fast. And whatever you're thinking, if you're thinking, oh, we're getting like a sentence, no, we're getting a single syllable, like a single piece of something. So if in a part of a memory, somebody's father's like, you're so stupid, we're just getting and even as I say that, for some of you, that doesn't feel right, right? Don't we like want more? We're like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to feel about this. That's the point. That's the point. We want to get such a small piece that your nervous system isn't overwhelmed, isn't even sure what to do with it. Okay. So we're looking at a memory faster than the client's ever looked at a memory. Like if this is the door to a memory, we're showing the client how to do this that quick. Okay. Good. Is anybody here at a desk? Does the desk have a drawer? Okay. What I'd like you to, those of you that have a drawer, what I want you to do is open and close the drawer so quickly that you only see one thing. You probably saw more than one thing. Try it again so quickly that you only see one thing. It's hard. It's a practice, isn't it? Right? We have to practice this. And we can practice this with our clients with little, boxes that have pictures of things in it. We can practice it with if we're telehealth and they have a drawer or they have a box or they have something that they can open and close. But it's difficult. It's a practice. We have to look at something so quickly that we're only getting a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of it. And if you haven't done Flash, you have not looked at a bad memory that quickly. Do you know what our intuition is? At least mine. Do you ever ruminate? 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning, do you ever ruminate? How do you do it? You do it slowly. You like take your time. It's like it's like a crock pot, right? It's like we just like take our time with rumination. And then where does it go? It goes all over the place, doesn't it? Yeah. So this is the exact opposite of that. Okay. Now, what we're trying to do, at least in reframing and framing Flash and reframing kind of our cultural intuitions, that rumination that you do on a Saturday morning at 10, when you're doing it, it feels like there's nothing in the universe more important than what you're doing. It makes absolute sense to you, doesn't it? It feels like the most normal, intuitive thing that you can do, but it's never, ever, ever worked, right? We never ruminate ourselves out of anything, do we? I haven't. If you figured out how to do that, let me know. We'll make a transformational psychotherapy out of it. But I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't figured that out. So clients won't like to do this. They won't want to do this because this isn't what therapy is. This isn't what they're used to. But what you're used to is what has helped keep you stuck all of this time. What you're used to is what makes cultural sense but hasn't worked. It may have helped you survive, but what we need to survive and what we need to heal aren't the same things all of the time. Okay? So we look at something blindingly fast, we push it out of our awareness. Don't worry, we brought it into working memory. That's another long history of things that somehow we feel like in therapy we have to be staring at the bad thing the whole time. You don't. You don't. We're going to bring it into working memory. We're going to push it out of our awareness. Don't worry. It's in working memory. Our brain's going to make some assumptions about it while it's in working memory. That's okay. And then we do the second intuitive thing, which is we immediately pivot to something that shifts our affective state in the opposite direction. And that can be a YouTube video of puppies. It can be a YouTube video of kittens. It can be your favorite. It can be your favorite Spotify playlist, not your breakup playlist, not your angsty teen thinking about hurting yourself playlist, but your power anthem, get up and dance playlist, right? We got this playlist, can be that. Okay. One of my clients' favorite scenes was she would bring to session her favorite deli sandwich wrapped in deli paper. And again, I mean, that's not for lots of our clients with disordered eating, but for this client, she had a special relationship with a sandwich, right? And she would just spend the first few rounds crinkling the paper, the deli paper. And then she would smell the sandwich and smell the different layers. And then, yes, knives in session, whatever. She'd cut it up into cubes and would literally be consuming the pleasant, positive scene that is healing her from childhood sexual trauma. Okay. So if that makes absolutely no sense, that's okay. I'm telling you, and I'm going to show you how it works. Okay. This combination of microactivation combined with having a disconfirming present experience over and over and over updates your predictive mind and lets you know that that little piece of the bad memory that you just accessed isn't happening right here, right now. And then we do the next piece. Isn't
Can you
happening
say
right
that
here,
again?
right
Can you repeat that little phrase you just said?
now.
That description of what is happening in that.
Is
Mm.
that when we bring first of all, when we bring a little piece of the memory into working memory, we're going to come, your brain has to make predictions about it. And you're having a back to back to back experience in the positive scene that demonstrates experientially that that little piece of the memory isn't happening right here, right now, because it's not happening in your sensory state and it's not happening in your viscera. Okay. We're trying to process the information in the memory as information rather than as distress. It's a different paradigm. We're trying to process the trauma as information rather than as distress. And we repeat this process until the memory is fully resolved. And when the memory is fully resolved, you'll see you'll be able to play it beginning to end, no distress on any channel. And you will have already installed a positive belief about yourself. You're like, wait a minute. We don't talk about positive beliefs in Flash. How did that happen? It happened because you healed. And we're like, wait a minute, I thought EMDR just updated cognitions. It does because it helps you heal. It's healing that updates your cognitions. Healing shifts how you think about yourself in the world. That's a and if the way you think about yourself in the world hasn't shifted, we have more work to do on that memory. Okay. Also, do you know what else? Generalization. People think, oh, I thought EMDR only caused generalization. No, healing causes generalization. Healing causes new learning, and that new learning trickles through your nervous system and resolves lots of other stuff that we don't have to touch. So EMDR is a good way to do healing. Flash is a good way to do healing too. And when the memory fully adaptively resolves, that memory is going to behave just like a fully adaptively resolved memory if you resolved it in EMDR or in any other transformational trauma therapy. Okay, you don't need to believe this. I'm just telling you. I'm just letting you know where all this is going. All right, the core steps, page 4. We'll walk through these steps quickly, and then we'll talk a little bit about what we think is going on neurobiologically, and then we're going to come back and walk through these steps slower. Okay, step 1. We're not staring at so any activation that we do in Flash is always moving away from you. It's not here. Any little piece of the memory, we catch it, we send it away. For some people, it's helpful to put it in a container of some type. Okay. Again, if you're like, oh, yay, I already have a container. No, that's your EMDR container, or that's your other therapy container. You have multiple things in your bathroom that have bristles. If you're using them for different things, they deserve to be separate objects. So let your EMDR container be your EMDR container. Let your Flash container be your Flash container, right? Also, we don't need to get too caught up on the containery-ish of it. We can also just do that. This is also a container. Do y'all mind just doing that? Do you know what that's sending? That's sending the message to your nervous system. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing what else it connects to. And I'm definitely not noticing it. And now's a good time to get to this important point. If you are EMDR trained, even though Flash developed in an EMDR context, Flash is not EMDR. EMDR is not Flash. There is nothing that understanding EMDR is going to be helpful in doing Flash well. They're really the inverse of each other, right? There's no present-based somatic noticing in Flash at all. Okay, and the distress isn't sitting in your viscera, it's always moving away from you. As soon as you touch it, it's hot potatoing away from you, right? Always away from you. Stress always moving away from you. So I'm bringing this up now as a point of confusion because it's a point of confusion for some people. For some people, and in the original version of Flash, there's slow bilateral. There's no bilateral in this version. There's no suds in this version. Very, very sensible reasons why that we'll talk about in a little while. But if EMDR is an orange, Flash is not a mandarin orange. If EMDR is an orange, Flash is a kitten. And it's a gray kitten, not even an orange kitten. It's a completely different thing. Okay, good. So we develop a container or we develop a movement to just send it away. Okay, good. That's our first resource. So we microactivate and whatever. First of all, we're not containing the memory because we're not accessing the memory as a whole. We're only containing the little bitty tiny syllable fragment piece emotion, whatever came out of it when we glance at the memory very, very quickly. Okay, so we're used to thinking about, even in a lot of research on working memory, there's this assumption that a memory is like a bowling ball that is either in working memory or it's not. It's one of the two. It's either in working memory or not. Flash takes a different metaphor entirely. This is a little bitty bean bag that's probably got 60 little bitty beans in it. Okay? We're leaving the memory in your brain and we're only accessing a bean of it at a time. So where's the memory? It stays in your brain where trauma is. And we're just activating only a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of it at a time. So we're not containing the memory, we're only containing the micro slice of the memory that came out when you looked at it lightning fast. And then that we send away. Okay, good. Now the second thing is if we're trying to not have activation in your body, you've probably already guessed the problem. The problem is that with many of us, just thinking about the memory can, boom, cause it to show up in your body. Well, now we have another type of container that's called the shop vac or a vacuum. okay, where we quickly vacuum the stress out of your body. And if you're a somatic practitioner, you may be like, Tom, I spend so much time getting my clients in touch with their body. It's sacrilegious to have them vacuum stuff out of their bodies. I'm not talking about your clients that are healthy enough to do your somatic interventions. I'm talking about your clients that are not healthy enough to do those things, right? So I'm still working to help people develop emotional awareness, to do that, I'm still a somatic therapist at core because I'm primarily an EMDR therapist. So there's time to do A and B, but I'm going to start with A because I can usually use Flash pretty quickly, sometimes second, third, fourth session to actually start resolving trauma. And if you work with people that are in EMDR therapy, they're not in their body enough to notice. It's probably going to be months before we can get them embodied enough to be able to do EMDR therapy. I can do flash with people effectively with people who are not in their bodies enough to notice second, third, fourth session, targeting the things that may be helping them not be in their body, really supporting the wisdom of not being in your body. So yeah, we're going to vacuum the stress out of the body. The vacuum is the container for body-based stress. We're going to catch as much as we can here and push it away. What gets through and what impacts the body. So body-based activation in flash is a problem. It's a sign of overactivation. Now, I want to be very clear. The activation that I care about is not your allostatic load. It's not your baseline 8 on a Thursday morning. What we're vacuuming is what got worse when you looked at that memory. If your body got worse when you looked at that memory, that's what we're vacuuming. Okay? So step one, we develop our container and we develop our container for body distress, which is a vacuum. Okay. Step two is calm scene. If the client's going to spend all this time in the calm scene, and the calm scene is our really most active ingredient, we need to help them develop it. And the way I'm developing is I'm saying, what shifts your state quickly? What is it that like makes you laugh out loud, like open mouth? Like, what is it that's so silly, funny, beautiful, astonishing that you can't not attend to it if it's playing? Or what's the last video that you saw on the internet that made you just laugh out loud? Or what's your favorite TV series? Can we watch highlight clips of The Office or highlight clips of Parks and Rec or whatever your favorite TV show is? Okay. It can also be, and I need to be really clear about this because it can also be an actual pet that you're petting with your actual hand in the present moment. It's not an imagination. It's that you can actually pet your animal. If you have a dog or cat with you and you like them, that can be your pleasant scene in the demo that we're going to do. Okay? So it's again, and when I say YouTube video, because a lot of people that come to these trainings are EMDR trained, and the calm scene's always imaginary. So they're like, oh, so we're going to have them watch a YouTube video and they're going to imagine the YouTube video? No, they're literally in session watching a YouTube video. Or if it's with a kid, the kid is literally watching their favorite YouTuber play their favorite piece of video game, right? It's not imaginary. As a matter of fact, in this version of Flash, I don't want your pleasant scene to be imaginary. It's too hard to keep making it hundreds of times. I want you to outsource it to YouTube, outsource it to Spotify, outsource it to whatever. You can, if dancing is your thing, feel free to be off screen and dance. Put on your favorite Spotify playlist. I will walk you through this in audio. I'll walk you through right over how to do it when we do this practice, but dance. Okay? Music can play the whole time. Okay? So we need to help the client develop their pleasant scene. We may need to make a YouTube playlist of multiple videos, or we're going to find one video that's long enough to last the whole session. Your clients with ADHD, I don't like beaches. Do you know why? They're going to be tired by the fourth wave. They're going to be bored by the fourth wave. We may need something more exciting than a static beach that's not changing. They may need something that's energizing, compelling, exciting, engaging, salient, changing, right? Good. So, pleasant scene. It doesn't have to be exactly disconfirming. It just needs to shift affective state in a way that you don't feel in the trauma. Okay. The calm scene, really quickly, the calm scene has two rules. It needs to shift how you feel in the present state quickly, and it cannot in any way intersect the bad memory. So you can't use laughing babies to process a memory of child loss. You can't use beaches of Maui to process honeymoon trauma or trauma from marriage the way you honeymooned in Maui. You can't even use the office if the office is the only part of your marriage that wasn't horrible. Okay? Because you're going to do it and you're going to realize that episode you watched with your ex in the middle of COVID, and then it's an intersection. It doesn't work. It's like it's division by zero. So if there is an intersection between the memory and the pleasant scene, you have to change the pleasant scene to something else where that doesn't intersect. Okay. And then the fourth resource that we do in step two, the fourth resource is sensory grounding. You'll know what happens. I say, do this with the memory. I say, open, close, lightning fast. The memory grabs the client and pulls them in it. We need grounding. And grounding is not, those of you that do other forms of trauma therapy, you may have stuff prepared in your office for grounding, and you may use it one session in 15, right? My clients are grounding almost every session. Some of them are grounding multiple times in a session, and we'll talk about why. So grounding is not an optional resource. So the resources in this version of Flash are container, vacuum, calm scene, and grounding. They form like the four walls of our chimney that allow us to do this work without substantial risk of burning the house down. And if the client's struggling with one of them, I'm going to talk about lots of different accommodations. If they struggle with visualizing, we have ways of outsourcing this that do not require visualizing at all. Okay. So the four resources again, container, vacuum, pleasant scene. I say calm scene as a short, but it's pleasant, calm, engaging, funny, distracting. It can literally be, if your client loves pizza, it can literally be bubbly hot pizzas coming out of a stone oven. Videos, one right after the next, right? Okay. Step three, we identify the memory that we're going to work on, but we need to be very careful not to activate it. Because if the client remember when I said we're trying to leave the memory in your brain? And if the client gives you a trauma narrative, what happens? It shows up in working memory. You don't have to tell me much about that memory at all before it shows up in working memory. And if it's in working memory, where else is it? It's in your viscera. It's in your nervous system. It's everywhere, right? So we need to select the memory, but not activate it. It's almost like we're pointing at the drink in the deli case, but we're not touching it. We're just like, give me the green thing, the green one. That's it. And then we put our hand down, right? So we're selecting the memory, but not activating it. You can line targets up in prior sessions. Okay. You can also, what I'm going to say to y'all is there a memory you thought you wanted to work on today? Is it an individual memory that happened at a particular place and time? Yeah? Good. Do all parts of you think working on that memory is a good idea today? Check. Yeah? Okay. Good. Push the general idea of the memory out of your awareness. Look at a blank wall, blank ceiling if you need to. Blank it out. Let me know when it's gone. It's gone. Good. Load up your calm scene. And now we're in step four. load up your calm scene, and the client is in their calm scene for 30 seconds at a time. All of the work, I promise you, all of the work that we do is done in the calm scene. Load up your calm scene, and the client is playing the YouTube video. That the client presses play on YouTube, or we press play. I have a big screen TV. Client sits there. I sit kind of next to them here. Um, the video plays the whole time. And then when I'm doing activating them, these little micro activations, they just turn away from the TV, look at me. And then when I say load up your calm scene, they look right back at the TV. So the TV can play the whole time. Okay. Um, they're in the calm scene 30 seconds at a time, except every 5 seconds, roughly. Nothing magic happens at 5. Every 5 seconds, I do something to disrupt them. Okay. Now, classically, that's done with blinks. Okay. So imagine I'm your calm scene. Okay, I'm your golden retrievers on YouTube jumping up and down, playing in fields of hay. Okay, imagine I'm your calm scene, and then I want you to blink for half a second. Close your eyes, open your eyes. Do you see how I went away and then I came back? Okay, if you blink twice, I went away and then I came back. Okay, you'll have a doorknob in the room that you're in, correct? What I want you to do is look at me. Now look at the doorknob and then look back at me. Do you know what you did? You disrupted your calm scene, and now you're having a new experience in your calm scene. So here's the punchline. Every 5 seconds, I'm saying blink, or I'm saying to disengage and then come back. Okay. And what the blinks do, or what the disengagements do, is they turn a single 30-second exposure to your calm scene into 6 little bitty micro calm scenes. They turn a single 30-second calm scene into little bitty tiny calm scene, calm scene, calm scene, calm scene, calm scene, calm scene. Okay? Because one of the things Flash teaches us is that it's not the depth or the beauty or the depth of the experience that's helping you update this memory quickly. It may be the sheer number of disconfirming experiences. So we're turning one experience in 30 seconds into 6 back-to-back little bitty experiences. Okay. Do you have a piece of paper near you and something to write on? Okay. Because what I invite you to do is get that piece of paper, trying to find my post-its, get that piece of paper and randomly write the numbers scattered all over it from 0 to 9. Okay. 0 to 9. Just scatter them all over 0 to 9. Okay. In this version of Flash, we don't do blinks anymore. Okay, so let me walk you through how we're going to do this in step 4. Imagine I'm your calm scene, I'm your golden retrievers or whatever it is jumping up in fields of hay. I want you to put that piece of paper kind of at the base of your monitor so you don't have to spin around to see it. Okay, I'm your golden retriever puppies having fun and fields of hay. Okay, good. 5. Find the number 5 on your sheet and look right back at me. Do you know what you just did? You did the functional equivalent of a blink without stressing your eye muscles and without, right. Okay, good. 7. Find the 7, look right back at me. Okay, good. That's another disengagement and then coming back. Okay. So again, the disengagement or the blinks turn a single experience of a pleasant something into lots of little bitty tiny pleasant somethings. It turns one experience into 6 back-to-back 5-second calm scenes, pleasant scenes, experiences. Okay. And then we do that, and I say, how did that go? Meaning, by what did I mean by how did that go? I'm explaining to clients, what do I mean by how did that go? I mean, were you able to find your way into the pleasant scene even though I kept pulling you out of it. And the client may say, yeah, but I need a little bit longer. Because just as I was getting back in, you were have pulling me out. Okay, let's do like 7 seconds to give you plenty of time to get in your pleasant scene and have a new experience there. Do you see why I don't like the pleasant scene to be imaginary? Because I'm only giving you a few seconds to create it before I'm pulling you out of it again. If you just open your eyes and YouTube has your beautiful Mediterranean beach coming in or your island beach, whatever, okay? It's easier if we outsource the experience to something you don't have to create hundreds of times. Let the media create it for you. Okay? And then step five. Step five is where we're setting our deli slicer to the thinnest possible slice. And we're checking that memory blindingly fast, especially when we start. So it's like the space between the claps. That quick. That's how quick you're looking at the memory. And the language for that is lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far away, use your hands, send it away. Because when you use your hands as a therapist, not only is this a nice metaphor for it's moving away from me, it also lets me know when you've got it and when you've sent it away. Okay, good. Send it away, let me know when it's gone. Okay, good. Calm scene. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when we're there. Now, so we just went from 4 to 5. Now we're going back to 4. And we're going to spend 20, 30, 40 minutes in a loop between step 5 and step 4. Lightly activate container, calm scene blinks. Lightly activate container, calm scene blinks. We're in a 5-4 loop. Step 5, step 4, lightly activate container, calm scene blinks until the client tells me I'm having trouble finding what's distressing in the memory. Because I keep telling you, every 40 seconds, we're going, hey, whatever's distressing, catch it, contain it, send it far away, let me know when it's gone. Quickly check the memory, send it away. They're like, I can't really find what's distressing. Also, you will notice that when they first do this, we say lightning fast, whatever's distressing in the memory, catch it, contain it, they're doing this. After about 10 minutes, they're going, right? And after a little bit more time, and once it takes about 8 to 10 seconds, for them to find what's distressing, we just remind them when you're having a hard time finding what's distressing, let me know. Okay, don't ask that. Don't tell them that every time because they're going to think you're pressuring them, right? So, whatever's distressing in that memory, wherever it is, whatever piece of it that comes to them, that's what they're catching, containing, and sending away. Okay. And we're doing that until they have a hard time finding what's distressing in it. And then so we have been like peeking into the room of the memory and then closing it, right? We've been doing that. The client can hold the door open and they're like, there's nothing coming out at me. And then we walk in to the room. And the way we do that is we go to step 6. And I say, I want you to play the memory from the very first piece and raise your hand when you find the first piece of distress. Soon as I see their hand going up, I say, catch it, contain it, send it far away. Let me know when it's gone. It's gone, good, calm scene. So every time we activate, it immediately goes away. And every time it immediately goes away, we go back into step 4 and do calm scene with blinks or calm scene with numbers or calm scene with colors. I have colored bean bags on the table that we use. So instead of saying a blink or saying a number, I'll say a color. In the setup I just did in the session before we met, we do colors and numbers. So I'll say blue, and then maybe next round I'll say 7, yellow, purple, 5, 5 seconds apart. If you're working with kids, you can put Sesame Street characters on the wall. You can have them tell you 8 nouns that are in their office, in their room, if you're doing telehealth. And then you write them down and you just randomly say Elmo toy. You just have a, or whatever. Yeah. So You play the memory in step six until you find the first piece of distress. So the beginning of the memory is here. You play it, you found distress here. Catch it, contain it, send it far away. Let me know when it's gone. Good. When it's gone, calm scene. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. 5, 8, 3, 2, 7. 5 seconds apart. That gets us to about 35 or so seconds. Okay, good. Then we come back and we say that piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? Yeah, a little bit. Good. Scoop it up, send it far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Okay. 2, 9, 4, 3, 6. Every 5 seconds. Good. How did that go? Good. That piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? No. Play the memory forward. Let me know when you find the next little piece of distress. Got it. Catch it, contain it, send it far away. Let me know when it's gone. Okay, it's gone. Good. Calm scene. 3, 9, 2, 6, 4 are blue, green, yellow, purple, pink every 5 seconds. How did that go? Good. Okay, that piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? No. Play it forward. I just got to the end of the memory. Okay, go back, play it again. And let me know when you find the first piece of distress, even if it's tiny, tiny. Oh, there's a little bit. Good. Catch it, contain it, send it far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Okay. 3, 9, 4, 6, 2, every 5 seconds. Good. That piece of distress in the memory, is there any distress in it in this moment? No. Play it forward. I just got to the end of the memory. Good. Go back, play it again. No, there's none there. They can play them. We're not done until you can play the memory from beginning to end and there's no distress on any channel. Okay. I have a client who I've been doing this with on the phone because that's the technology she's got. Um, and we've been doing this for several years working on trauma in Lyndon Johnson's presidency, like trauma in the 60s, right? 60s trauma. And every session she's like, oh, I believe we've done another one. I believe we've done another one. And I'm like, you did. You did another one. So that's how we know we're done, is when you can play it beginning to end. And we can, of course, can ask questions like, what do you believe about yourself related to that memory that's different? Oh, it wasn't my fault. Okay, how much do you believe it? I believe it completely. What's that feel like to hear yourself say that? And we can sit with that, right? What might you want to do this week with a little bit of that feeling, a little bit of that knowledge that not everything can possibly be your fault? What might you want to do this week, right? So from this, we can also work in the future. Do you know how you work in the future? Really similar to EMDR therapy. You can target almost anything in Flash as a future template that you might target in EMDR. Okay, good. Give me a second. I'm going to put in chat again the materials. We're on page 4. Awesome. So, do you know how you do future? You do exactly like you did past. You repeat all the steps except in saying, instead of saying, think about the bad memory, you say, think about the future scene. And you wait until the client has a hard time figuring out what's distressing in the future scene. And then you play the video of the future scene until you can play the video of the future scene beginning to end, and there's no distress on any channel. And your client will say, wow, I drove through the accident site and didn't even remember that I did it until I was pulling in my garage. Or they may say, my mother-in-law was in my kitchen doing her crazy dance and I didn't join her. I noticed I was in my own body watching her do her crazy dance and I didn't join her. Okay. This is a lot. What I've done is I've just thrown all these steps at you super, super quick, really, really quickly, We're going to go through them more slowly in a minute. But what questions, and we're going to talk about working mechanism here in just a moment, but what questions do you have about the procedures that I've described? Yes, Carol.
Um, you may be about to go into this. Finding a specific memory. I have
Mhm.
questions about that.
Yeah,
And what was the other piece? Yeah, the questions about finding that kind of memory as
yeah,
opposed to someone who's used to the whole
yeah,
shebang.
yeah,
And um, I had a question if you're using material that you created, like a musician,
yeah.
is that a good idea or not a
You
good idea?
can. I've had people do Flash playing musical instruments.
Huh, okay.
Now, you have to be just like a kid playing a video game, you have to be comfortable with the idea that you're not going to play perfectly because I keep disrupting you,
Right.
right? So as long as you have tolerance for like, looking at a number while you're playing, like stopping playing long enough to look at it. So yeah, it depends on the kind. I think that what you're doing and how you're playing and how tolerant you are with disruptions.
What I meant is listening to your own music that you
You
had recorded.
absolutely can. You
Question,
absolutely can.
if you're working on a creative piece, is that a bad idea that it's associated?
Correct. If you're working
Okay.
on your own writer's
Something that blocks
block,
you.
performance
Yeah, yeah,
block,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't listen to your music. As a matter of fact, I would say if you're working on a performance block, I wouldn't listen to any form of art that is in the same category as your art
Thank
because
you.
it's
Yeah.
going to
So
be
yeah,
too resonant. Related to memories, we need to explain to clients because clients are really obsessed with themes, and I don't blame them. It's our themes that are making our life unmanageable. But in EMDR and in Flash and in many other transformational trauma therapies, our target is a memory because a memory is the substrate of the generative model of yourself in the world. It is what we can change given the right type of present-based sensory information. So I'm going to help you find a memory, and I'm not starting with trauma in Flash. Do you know what I'm starting with? I'm starting with a very mild frustration. Why? Because I want to show you how to juggle. Flash is so non-intuitive. I want to show you how to juggle with marshmallows before I show you how to juggle with flaming marshmallows with razor blades in them. Which is what we're going to probably have to juggle with when we get to complex trauma. Or if you have to do a dance to heal on the wing of a biplane, let's learn the dance on a flat floor so that we're not like learning how to do this while also juggling radioactive things and explosives and dynamite. So we're starting because Flash is so non-intuitive. I need to show you how to do it with something that's more frustrating than trauma. And how do we find those targets? I may say, do you live with a knucklehead that you like? Do you live with a teenager? And you love them, but some mornings you look at your hands and they'd fit right around their neck. Maybe we work on that because it's kind of a thing that's they're teening and you're trying to keep them from dying or like, you know what I mean? Becoming degenerate little children. You know, we're trying to like launch them successfully and uninjured in this world. Um, or maybe there's somebody that you do know cares about you, but sometimes they're a knucklehead. You know what I mean? But we've got the front loading of this. So we're going to find something for you to start with, and then we're going to ooch it up. And by the time you've done about 3 or 4 flash sessions, you can start to handle flaming things. And by the time you've done 5 or 6, you can start to handle big chunks of lava. Okay. But you can't start there. And I have to literally tell my clients, I know you need to heal. You need to get on that interstate and go. But today, we really need to just drive around the car dealership parking lot. We're just driving around the parking lot because for you to do what I'm going to ask you to do when we get to the big stuff, you've got to get that microactivation down. You've got to get the sending it away down. It's like if you've spent 4 hours line dancing, the fifth hour, it's a body movement. So by the time we get to the big stuff, I want what I'm asking you to do largely to be a body movement you don't have to think about. Okay. So we're going to find individual memories. There's strategies for doing that. Yeah. We'll talk more about that. Melissa, did Melissa have a question?
Yes, hi. I just wanted to ask, um, like how much, yeah, I'd love to know the explanation you give for Flash, because I know
Yeah,
that it's seems kind of wacky to clients. They're
absolutely.
like, what are we doing here? So yeah, I'm curious to know what you do in setting it up and
Yeah.
explaining.
So I'm going to explain it to y'all, you first, through just a predictive mind lens. I'm going to explain it to you first, and then I'm going to give you metaphors that may help you be able to explain it to your clients. Okay, so most of us, um, unless you're a really new therapist, we've been trained forever in triune brain model. Triune brain was developed by a guy born in 1913. Okay, so the old limbic brain, brainstem, neocortex, three brains pancaked on top of each other through millions of years of evolution. They're fighting it out. They're largely fighting it out over which brain's going to run the show right here, right now. That model has been for decades the model that we've used in trauma trainings, but neuroscience is out there developing a very different model of the brain. And in summary, what that model of the brain is instead of having a very reactive brain, we have a brain that's always on, always changing. As a matter of fact, you've got half the neurons now that you had when you were born. What's accounting for that is that every millisecond that you've been alive, your brain has been developing as a byproduct of learning, as a byproduct of the experiences that you're having, helping you to survive in your particular developmental niche, in your particular space. So I want to sketch out what a predictive mind or an adaptive mind looks like and sounds like. And I'm going to begin really quickly with perception, because the old model of perception is that we see something, those light hits our retina, gets converted into shapes and colors and movement and all of those things. And it moves deep, deep, deep into your brain, where deep in your brain goes, aha, I know what this must be, right? The model, though, that we're beginning to understand about what a predictive mind is that is that deep in our brain has a model that is built from everything we've ever been through. The substrate of that model is every millisecond of experience in which you've been alive. Okay? So that does kind of make sense to trauma therapists, is that we have a model of ourselves in the world built from everything we've been through. But instead of sensory information going deep into your brain, we don't find those pathways. You would think there'd be huge pathways of sensory information going deep into your brain. What neuroscience finds is that there are much bigger pathways going deep into your brain down toward the sensory regions. Well, that's weird. Why would your brain be sending large volumes of information down toward your sensory regions? And the assumption is that what's in those huge pathways are the guesses that your brain is making about what you're about to sense. So our brain makes thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of guesses, predictions that go from the model of deep in your brain down toward the sensory regions of your brain. where it is making guesses about what it thinks you're about to sense. And when what you're actually sensing, that incoming sensory information, when it encounters those predictions and it doesn't match, prediction error is returned. And those smaller pathways that going up from your sensory regions to deep into your brain, that is the prediction error pathways. And prediction error signals can do one of two things. They either revise and issue a new cascade of predictions. The error says, okay, let me try again, and it issues a new cascade of predictions. Or, here's the punchline, or it updates the little bitty piece of the model of yourself in the world from which the original predictions were made. So your brain can correct and update its guess, or it can update the model. Okay. And what is the model made of? It's made of every millisecond of experience that you've been alive. The piece of this that we haven't talked about is called waiting. And it's not like waiting as in wait 5 minutes. It's waiting as in where is your brain largely unconsciously putting attention right now? In this vast model of yourself and the world, what pieces of it is it paying attention to select these predictions? What predictions are weighted and what prediction errors are weighted? So which in all of these signals are getting your brain's focus and which is your brain downgrading? So weighting. Now let's think about the model. Let's run this model through a traumatized mind. If you have a traumatized brain, can't we assume that a lot of the predictions that it makes, because perception begins with prediction, a lot of the predictions that it makes are pretty trauma haunted? Okay. So let's run this through Flash. In Flash, we don't activate a whole memory because that's a whole bunch of stuff that's going to generate really strong predictions of unsafety. We bring just a tiny piece of it. And you know what that tiny piece is? Eh, a little bit of anxiety, it's a little bit of something. But your brain is going, oh, I don't like this. This, in the past, this hasn't gone well. It's generating some predictions of unsafety. But what is it encountering? Remember, when you bring something to working memory, it has to stay there a little while. Your brain's making predictions about it after, even after you've pushed it out of awareness. Working memory is sticky. We bring it into working memory only long enough for your brain to attach to it, identify it, and push it away. So the moment you see whatever it is you're containering, or the moment you send it away, that thing is still in your brain a little while, and your brain's making predictions about it. Some of those predictions are going to be of unsafety or shame or humiliation. But what are you noticing? What's happening in your nervous system? Puppies on YouTube, bubbly hot pizzas coming out of the oven, prediction error. So we lightly activate and then give you not one, but six back to back to back to back to back disconfirming experiences that demonstrate more than anything else that that piece of the memory isn't happening right here, right now. Why? Because it's not happening in my viscera and it's not happening in my sensory state. And remember, your brain is in the black box of your skull. It only has right here sensory information to know what's happening right here and what isn't, what's true and what's not. So we heal across prediction error, and Flash generates not one experience every 30 seconds, but it generates six back to back to back to back to back experiences that is disconfirming the prediction in that, not the memory, in that little bitty tiny piece of the memory. And then you know what we do? The next piece. And then back to back to back to back to back to back, just confirmation that it's over. It's not happening right here either. And then the next piece. And we may digest 40, 50, 60 pieces in a single session of that memory. Now, if it seems like this is weird, let's talk about EMDR therapy. Those of you that are EMDR therapists. Yeah, in the beginning of EMDR therapy, there's a lot that's congruent. Isn't there? There's noticing stuff that feels, but every 30 seconds, I'm having you open your eyes and connect with me, who's in a room with drywall and fluorescent lighting. Clearly not happening in 1970. The parts of you may be expecting to be judged. And look, your therapist is looking at you warmly, compassionately. Not only that, where are we putting attention? We're putting attention in your right now 2026 sensory state. I'm not having you fly into that memory. As a matter of fact, if you're dissociating into that memory, I'm grounding and getting you back into the room with me. But this process of tolerable activation, slowing down, being present, and noticing starts to allow difficult stuff that is held in your model of yourself in the world to start to connect with adaptive stuff that is also held in the model of yourself in the world. And you know what difficult stuff connecting with adaptive stuff is every single time? It's prediction error. It's experiential discrepancy. And your clients in EMDR therapy are having an experience of that discrepancy. How many times in EMDR therapy has a client said, oh, I was just a kid? That is hitting them for the first time, like deeply, deeply salient as the difficult stuff starts to connect with adaptive stuff. Those of you who do parts work is experiential work. It's relational work in which parts of you have relational experiences with other parts of you. Do you know what that is? That is different than the learning and the trauma. Do you know what that is? It's prediction error. Really, really deeply salient, present-based experiential prediction error. Even the exposure therapies, those of you that have done them, you don't get better and start healing until your experience of the exposure starts to challenge the prediction. It's not until you start to acclimate that you start to heal. If the exposure only produces re-experiencing, you don't heal. You reinforce you're not having prediction error. Those of you that are familiar with EMDR 2.0, where they activate the heck out of the trauma and then distract you from the activation, they say it's taxing working memory. I don't know if it's taxing working memory or not, but what I do know is that when I activate you and then distract you from that activation, I'm disrupting your predicted effective sequela. I'm distracting you from what you thought you were about to feel because I'm having you do these things that are making jump right, jump left, divide by 3, add 6, subtract 2. I'm making you do all these things that are preventing you from having your brain's expected prediction come true. Psychedelic therapies, whether they lower defenses, you know what lower defenses are? Prediction error, right? Whether you're in that memory now as your adult self, observing it from a place of detachment, do you know what that is? That's prediction error, because every other time you've seen it from the view of your child state. Or whether you have that experience without affect that your brain was predicting, or a different affect than your brain was predicting, that's prediction. That's all prediction error. Okay, so my point is that we heal in the predictive mind, we heal across experiential mismatch. We learn across experiential mismatch. We perceive across experiential mismatch. And I use perception as an example, but almost everything a brain does tends to depend upon model, prediction, prediction error, and some version of weighting. My ability to smoothly move my muscles is built upon hundreds of thousands of predictions, prediction error, and waiting. It's back and forth. And remember how fast we used to say the limbic brain was? When you get triggered, it's like the blink of an eye. These predictions, prediction error signals, are in the order of like 4 to 5 milliseconds, which is orders of magnitude way faster than triggering in your limbic brain was. This is your brain working incredibly, incredibly quickly to construct your right now reality. Yeah, Melissa.
So that's really a great framing. So even something like, if I've understood correctly, then this predictive error is also the basis of like a graded exposure task in cognitive behavioral therapy, where you're getting the person to enter some aversive, some experience they might otherwise avoid in a graded way and experience that predictive error.
Yeah.
And then so it's kind of a great descriptor for a lot of those when there's different styles of therapy that creates that experiential mismatch.
I want to put a little bow around that. All of the transformational trauma therapies differ in two respects. What part of the model of yourself in the world are we activating and how? And what am I asking you to attend to? Those two things. What are you activating and what am I asking you to put your attention on? It's all about those of you that you don't have to be a somatic practitioner to start to see that it's all about attention. It's all about because what you put attention on, your brain has to make predictions about. And we want what you're attending to shape predictions to shape prediction error. Yeah. This so predictive mind is like up here. It's a general model of the mind, and I'm going to argue it's a metaphor of the mind. It's just a metaphor because do we really, and by the way, the old model of limbic brain, brainstem, neocortex, that always was a metaphor too. I'm going to argue that the predictive processing model is a much more useful metaphor than the old triune brain model because if we have a brain that's running 150 million year old software, we're kind of screwed, right? So our brain, this is a top level model of what a brain is doing. Beneath that, there's other models like Bruce Ecker's model. Those of you that are familiar with Bruce Ecker's been out there saying for 20 years that if you want to update a stuck mind, you activate a piece of stuckness and then ask the client to have an experience that disconfirms the expectation in the bad memory or disconfirms the schema. Do you know what a disconfirming experience does? It generates prediction error every single time. So Bruce Exer calls prediction error juxtaposition. We need to have an experiential juxtaposition. It's the same thing, just a different level of abstraction. And I don't like quoting van der Kolk for lots of reasons, because I think there's other people that we can quote. But one of the most quoted lines in The Body Keeps the Score is that in order to heal, we need to have experiences that deeply and viscerally contradict the helplessness, rage, collapse generated by the trauma. Experiences that deeply and viscerally contradict the helplessness, rage, collapse generated by the trauma. That is just another level of abstraction right next to Bruce Ecker. By the way, you know what the advantage of this approach is? It's how therapists already understand how relational healing happens. So when your clients come to session, you don't curse them out. You don't shame, blame, humiliate them. You try to hold their nervous system in a way that is different than what they're expecting relationally. because we understand pretty intuitively that we heal when we have experiences that are different than the expectation in the bad memory or the bad experiences. Questions? I know you came for a technique and you're getting a model of the brain. You're getting a model of perception. You're getting a model of, yeah. But from that model, Flash makes perfect sense. Okay, so this version of Flash is built around the idea that we heal across prediction error and experiential mismatch. And I'm just going to argue that that's probably what therapy should have always been about. We don't go to therapy to learn and replicate what we already know. Have you been trauma dumped on 40 times by the same client where it just didn't shift? It didn't shift because their experience of it was the same every dumping. Okay, for luck.
Hi. Yeah, I was just wondering for our complex trauma clients who would you say that there's some things that we need to watch out for or be or think about before attempting this technique in terms of like clients that are highly dissociative
Yeah.
um or not like definitely not ready for EMDR or any other technique, but would you say that this is one of those techniques that we could try with highly dissociative
Mhm.
clients or and
Yeah,
how do we sell it to them?
except my clients on the DID end of the spectrum, I want to work with their parts for a while. I want to work with their parts for a while because I don't want to do this without consent.
Right.
So I want to get consent from as many parts of them as we can. And they really do need to have a relationship with me somewhat, at least the parts that we can interact with and access. But except for clients on the DID end of the spectrum, if you can do what I'm asking you to do in Flash, and we're starting with the resources, and two of the resources aren't just regulation strategies, they're literally what I'm asking you to do endlessly in Flash. So if the resources go well, and remember that this version of Flash is built around parts permission in every step. Every step, does this container work for all parts of you? Does this calm scene work for all parts of you? Do all parts of you think working on this memory today is a good idea?
Okay.
Okay. So, yes, you can work with clients with complex trauma if they do the resources pretty easily and you start very, very small. Very,
Mhm.
very small. And we don't let it go anywhere other than the one in this version of Flash, we work one memory at a time only. One memory at a time only. Because the same door that lets in two will let in 27 in
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Mhm.
So no, we work one memory at a time only. So
Okay.
any other questions about this part? This kind of predictive mind stuff. There's some references on the sheet on page 6 if you want to do some reading that may be helpful in getting your mind around. So you're going to hear less and less over the next few years about limbic brain, brainstem, neocortex, and more about things like default mode network, salience network, executive network. You're going to hear a lot more about network neuroscience because network neuroscience is how your predictive mind does what it's doing. Network neuroscience is the layer of abstraction beneath the predictive mind model. Predictive mind is just the top level descriptor of what a brain's doing. And network neuroscience may be how the brain's doing it. Okay. And the network neuroscience doesn't map perfectly to triune brain at all. We're noticing that very different regions may be involved. There's some, of course, whatever's going on in emotional memory processing probably involves the part of the brain that we've associated with the amygdala all this time, but it's a different way of conceptualizing trauma. And if you're still using triune brain language, fine. We've used it for 50 years. You can keep using it. My only suggestion is that how we describe what a brain is as trauma therapists should be recognizable by modern neuroscience. So, and you're not going to find a serious neuroscientist. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to find a modern neuroscience who's going to argue with you about whether or not we have three completely different, separate brains pancaked on top of each other, fighting for control. You can go try, but and again, these metaphors have more possibility in them than the old metaphors do. At least I think so. Page 7. What do I do with Flash? How do I incorporate, as an EMDR therapist, how do I incorporate Flash? Or if you're a parts therapist, how would you incorporate Flash? I don't care. Right? A long story short, what I tend to do is I'm going to use Flash to help support current stability. If you're like really struggling and you're someone with complex trauma, I'm going to target the thing that's most contributing to current stability. By the way, that's the way you always work with people with complex trauma. The way you you always work with what's causing right now's instability, or your client isn't going to come back. Right? So when you have a more stable client, you can do more difficult stuff with them. You can start them doing EMDR therapy or deeper parts work. I'm not terribly attached to what you do, but I'm typically starting with Flash because it's the easiest way for me to start working. And what Flash does as an EMDR therapist, what Flash does is lets me start direct trauma work way, way sooner than I could in EMDR therapy. Okay. Page 9. We're going to talk about, we're going to go through these steps a little bit slower. I'm going to invite you to do the resources with me because you're going to need them. And if you're like, oh, I'm a therapist, I don't need these resources. No, you do. You do. To do this well and to do this safely, we need resources or appropriate accommodations in place. Is there anyone here that struggles with visualizing things? Okay, good. Sit out the container visualization. I'm going to have another resource in a few minutes that I'll invite you to do instead. Okay, because do you know what happens with the EMDR therapist? You sit down and you say, I can't visualize. And you know what the EMDR therapist is very likely to do? Okay, can you imagine a let's try it anyway. Can you imagine a bright healing light forming overhead? Right? It's almost gaslighty that we like say. And so we need strategies to outsource resources to something that the clients can actually do. The only thing that's easy to change in any of this is how we teach it. So let's get more nimble in how we approach people's nervous systems and not demand that they meet our psychotherapies where they are. So the container, this is an important piece. The container does not contain the memory. It only contains the little bitty piece of the memory that we just put into it. It contains a micro slice of the memory. And then the container is going to go out of our awareness. As a matter of fact, I want it to go out of the universe. I want it to send it past the object formerly known as the planet Pluto. And I'm not sending it away because it's bad. I'm sending it away because I'm going to need all of awareness to be available to my pleasant scene. And if I push it away and it's just sitting right here, it's going to junk up my pleasant scene. So I want to send it out of the cosmos, out of the universe, 1 billion miles away. And if you're like, this isn't compatible with EMDR, well, good news. Flash is not EMDR therapy. It's okay. It's okay. So can you think of something, a box, a mailbox, a cookie jar, a tinted Tupperware that might be helpful to hold a piece of a difficult memory? It doesn't have to be massive. Do you know why? If a massive piece comes out of the memory, we've overactivated, and I'm going to use grounding. I'm not going to use containment. Okay, so we'll cover grounding in a minute. Do you have something in your mind that can contain something? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. If you do, spin it around in your awareness and notice what it's made of. Notice its construction. Notice how it opens and closes. Okay. Can you imagine a blank Post-it note going into that container? And can you see it close? And does it feel like what you put in there is in there? Meaning, is it contain it? Is object permanence applying here? Right? Does it feel like it's in there, even though you can't see it? And if it does, what I invite you to do is get that container. This can be difficult for some people. Send it out through your wall, through your ceiling, out past all of the planets, out past the whole of the solar system as fast as you can. Send it 1 billion miles away in a single second. And does it feel like it's a far, far way away? Okay, thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Okay. Now, if you struggled visualizing, here's what we can do. In session, you can get these little bitty bean bags. And I have bean bags in my office. I have 50 of them. I have a wicker basket that sits across the room where they live. I dump them on the table. We put the wicker basket across the room. Here's what you do. The client picks up a bean bag and they think about the memory only when the bean bag's in the air. And whatever's distressing in that moment, we put in the bean bag and we throw it across the room. So do you see what we've done? We've just outsourced microactivation and container all into the same motor movement. And you know what I like about this? This also works if people are struggling, if they got a really difficult part of the memory and they're struggling getting a little piece of it, this helps. Okay. Now, if you don't have bean bags, what you can do is you can get a piece of paper, cut it into strips, cut the strips into cubes, and you can make little balls of paper. If you do telehealth, this is how you can do this with your clients with telehealth. They're going to have a piece of paper in their house somewhere. You make little balls, you catch it, think about the memory. Oh, it was too fast. Okay, good. I'm going to try again. Okay, good. And you throw it across the room. And you don't even care because they're not in your office, junking up your office. And then they're going to go pick them up and put them in a little solo cup and they'll have them there next session. Okay. So those of you that struggle visualizing, would that be a workable accommodation? So just tear a piece of paper into, tear a piece of paper into strips, make little balls. And again, you only think about the memory when the ball's in the air and you throw it away. So that is microactivate, contain, all in one step. Vacuum. So how did that resource go? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. No? No, what's wrong? Those of you that are struggling, what happened?
I, I don't understand it. I need you to describe that again.
The
I didn't really get
beanbag?
it. The vacuum thing, but
We
also
haven't gotten
like
to the
so
vacuum yet.
okay, and the bean bag, I like so it's like so are they're doing each bean bag, they're like think about it, throw it in the air when they're thinking about it. Once they
Yeah.
catch it and then they're throwing
Yeah.
that bean bag, then they're getting a
Can you
next bean
all
bag for the
can you
next
all
round.
can you get a little piece of paper? Can you like tear off a corner of one of the sheets of paper, get a little piece of paper, and I'll walk you through how do we do it. So we would have already selected the memory. We would have already done all of our resources, right? And what we're doing is we're going to be, I'm going to have you would have loaded up your calm scene. You've been in your calm scene. You would have done your blinks or numbers. And now now we're in step 5, we're going to activate the memory. So instead of saying very quickly, think about the bad memory, catch it, contain it, send it far away, I say, pick up your piece of paper, throw it in the air, catch it, and whatever's distressing, send that away. Put whatever's distressing in that piece of paper and send it away. Do you feel how that's doing the same thing? Right? We're sending it away. That activation is in that paper. It's equivalent to that paper, and then throw it across the room. Okay?
Yeah, so I think so that's for step 5. That's not the step 4. I think I thought
You
it
know,
meant
no,
as an
no, no.
alternative to step
It's
4.
it's not. No, step 4 is normal. Calm scene with blinks or calm scene with numbers. We're only activating in step 5. And I'm going to go ahead and say this now because it's probably going to need to be repeated. The only time you're thinking about the memory in Flash, the only time you're thinking about the memory is when I am right now asking you to. So you're not thinking about the memory when you're blinking. You're not thinking about your memory when you're in your calm scene. If you are thinking about your memory in your calm scene, you need to let me know so that we can stop and we can get whatever came in and send it a billion miles further than you sent it away last time, or we'll ground if we need to. So the one of the things you're doing the least in Flash is actually thinking about the bad memory. Okay. And the memory still resolves with my clients 95% of the time in a single session. I need to do some research in Cleveland to prove it, but I'm going to work on that. So we're going to figure that out. Okay, vacuum. Have you used the vacuum? Have you cleaned up pet hair? Have you cleaned up Cheerios from a toddler? Right? Have you vacuumed up dust? Can you get in touch with the somatic memory of like cleaning up something or using a dust buster? Can you get in touch with like the memory of that? If not, you're going to have to imagine what it's like. Okay. Have you ever used, for instance, have you ever used a shop vac and taken the hose off it? I mean, taken the attachment off it to see, make sure it still has good suction. Okay. And this is a loud, this is loud kind of thing. Okay. Now, can you get in touch with that as a construct? An imaginary vacuum with a hose with a very powerful suction. Okay. Now I need to trigger you just a tiny, tiny bit. So be careful, guard up. But tomorrow's Friday. Maybe you thought you were seeing your most difficult client next Thursday, and you wake up tomorrow morning and they're the first person on your caseload on Friday. Do you feel a little bit of that? And if you do, vacuum it out real quick. Wherever it is, turn on your vacuum, just vacuum it out real quick. And maybe it's not a student, maybe it's a student, maybe it's a whatever, like whatever it is, kind of vacuum it out real quick. Okay, and you don't have to get all of it, but can you see some of it, like leaving your body like a kind of colored smoke going in that hose? Okay, and now the canister of the vacuum is our vacuum. I mean, is our container, and then it goes away. Okay. Sneeze is trying to come. So, okay. How did that go? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs. Now, vacuum is an imaginary resource. It may be hard for some people to do. If it is, what I'm going to ask is how do you get distress out of your body quickly? Sometimes we need to get up and wiggle, right? Sometimes we need to just do this, like wherever it is, we need to just dust it off, right? Sometimes we can use metaphorical hands and scoop it up and send it away, right? But we need some strategy because from what we talked about with the predictive mind, if a piece of that memory is in your viscera, how's your brain going to reach the conclusion that it's over? How's your brain going to, right? Where's the signal that it's over when we're getting signals? Because if you have something in your body, do you know what your brain has to do? It now has to construct an explanation for that. So the very activation that your brain generated is now stuff that your brain has to make predictions about. So if distress from the memory is hanging out in your body more than a tiny, 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 tiny bit, Flash is going to go glacially slow. Okay. So we got to get the stress out of the body when it shows up from that memory only. I don't care about your baseline. Your baseline, you can be an 8.5 out of 10. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is what got worse when you thought about the memory. Now, how does Flash go disastrously wrong? Your client activates and doesn't tell you. And then it gets worse and they don't tell you. And then it gets worse and they don't tell you, and then worse, and then worse, and then worse. And then the brain goes, wait a minute, all of this is trauma, and it makes your calm scene paired with the trauma. And now your calm scene, which is one of the only things in the world that doesn't suck, is now a direct trigger to that bad memory. So we need to not do that. We need to tell our clients clearly, we do not push into the stress, not 1/100th of 1 ounce. If there is distress from that memory in your body, it needs to be moving away from you, and we're not going forward. Do you see how every intuition in Flash goes against every intuition in EMDR therapy? It is like everything that you need to do EMDR therapy will cause harm in Flash. The distress, we are handling distress like a hot potato, and it is always moving away from you. If it's in your viscera, you've already overactivated and nothing good is about to happen. If you're overactivated in your body, Flash is not going to work. Or if it works, you're risking it working at the cost of causing harm. So we really want to work in careful, protected ways. Okay, calm scene. We need to help you. Y'all need to find a calm scene. What do you love? What's funny? It can be your favorite music, your favorite highlights from your favorite orchestra. It can be your favorite artist painting. So it can be anything that you love, find that on YouTube. Or if it's music, load up Spotify. So whatever you love, find that. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to do it. And I'll come back and see how you do. It needs to shift how you feel quickly in a positive direction. All right. How did that go? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. You find something that works? Ads are a problem on YouTube. They just are. And you know what I do? I pay off the billionaires. I just give them $130 a month and I go a whole year and don't see an ad. Now your clients are used to it. So they're going to get through the ads fine because they're watching YouTube all the time anyway. They're going to be able to navigate and get through it. But I want to let you know that remember how, you know what the billionaires also know? They know everything about you. So don't be surprised if you're working on a medical trauma something in Flash and you load up YouTube and it shows an ad for the very IBS med that your insurance will not cover right in the middle of it. So sometimes, not often, One session in 500, the ads may be a trigger to something. So we're just gonna, I don't know what to do. We roll with it. We do the best we can. One session in 500, I'm not worried about. We can navigate that okay. Good. Everybody have a calm scene that works. Okay. Do you have what you need for sensory grounding? Do you have stuff for your sense of smell and taste? If you have a drink, you're good, but if you need to go get a vanilla candle or need to go get your essential oil or need to go get something for the grounding exercise, please feel free to. I'll give you a moment to go do that.
Tom,
Yes.
can I use something that I'm doing as opposed to looking at something?
Can you smell something or taste something or feel the temperature of something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
and if for the
texture.
sense of vision, you can look at what you're doing. I mean,
That's what
we're
I mean.
absolutely, yeah, we're only going to be in that sense about 2 seconds, though. This grounding exercise is going to be super, super quick.
Okay.
All right. Good. So what we'll do is we'll invite you. We're going to engage with each of our senses for only a few seconds at a time. Okay. Um, and we can always stretch this out later. But one of the problems with complex clients is that many of our mindful strategies are way too slow. So this is a way to just do this super, super quick, and then we can always stretch it out once the construct has been made safe. So good. I invite you to look around your current room. Notice whatever you see. Notice if you were to touch each object, would it be hard or soft or some other texture? Awesome. If you have a piece of furniture near you, just touch it and notice, is it warmer, cooler, or the same temperature as your hand? Good. I'm going to be very quiet. Notice whatever you hear in order of loudest first. Good. If you have something near you that has a smell, feel free to engage in that. If you have something near you that has a taste, feel free to engage in that. Good. Excellent. So in the practice, again, we can always stretch that out, make it more slower later. But in the practice, what I'm going to ask you is if you need to ground, which of the senses seem to be the most connective to the current moment? Which of them seem to be the most powerful for you this evening? And if you need to ground, start with that sense. Start with the sense that seems to be the most anchoring in this moment. Okay? Good. In the office, I've got essential oils on the table. I have the client's preferred essential oil already out, and it is not the pleasant ones. It is the oils that kind of like it is. And again, I have warheads in my office. I have super sour candies. I have other grounding objects that they can use for grounding. I have warm and cool drinks. I have an ice dispenser, like the really nice crunchy ice, and I have a dispenser that makes water hot enough for tea, right? All the time. So we have plenty warm and cool drinks that we can use for grounding as well. Okay. Good. Step 3. Those are our resources. Container, vacuum. And again, vacuum may be triggering because some people, if they were punished with chores, vacuums may be a difficult construct. Some people have had medical procedures that were very traumatizing that involve suction. So if vacuum or suction is a difficult construct, We can find other strategies that help get stuff out of the body, including grounding. Okay. So grounding can serve as a substitute for the vacuum if needed. It's just not as fast. Okay. Step 3, page 14, we're going to select the memory, but we're not going to activate it. We're going to try to not activate it. There's not really much more to say about that. If your client comes to session with something that's already activated, a very recent thing, a huge fight with somebody or something, and you're thinking about doing flash, where's the memory? The memory's probably in working memory. Do you know what we need to do? We need to ground, ground, ground to get it far enough away so that you can start to bring a little piece of it in at a time. So if your client's really activated about something that you're about to work on, don't just jump into flash. Ground to get you present enough and it far away enough, out of awareness far enough to where you can start to bring a little bit of it at a time into awareness. Again, load up the calm scene, and we're going to blink every 5 seconds, except in the practice that we're going to do, we'll do numbers. Okay, and let's do a round of numbers real quick. Can you get out your numbers and put it at the base of your screen? Again, those if you were missed it, it's just a sheet that has numbers randomly written on it from zero to 9. You can also use, if you're at a computer with a keyboard that has numbers, you can also look at your keyboard, find that number. Okay? You can use your keyboard instead of having a piece of paper with numbers on it. So, what I invite you to do y'all still have your calm scene somewhere? I'm going to give you about 15 seconds to load up your calm scene, and I want to walk you through phase 4. Good, load up your calm scene. That's how phase 4 begins. And let me know when you're there. Give me a thumbs up when you're in your calm scene. Good. Excellent. And then I'll start with the numbers. 7, find the 7, and then go right back into your calm scene. As soon as you find it, right back into your calm scene. Awesome. 3, find the 3, right back into your calm scene. 9, 8, and 0. Good. Were you able to keep finding your way into the calm scene even though I kept pulling you out of it? And if you were, you're on track to do this part of Flash. Okay? Good. Step 5, we would have selected the memory in step 3, but not activated it. Now we're going to activate it. And I need you to look at it that quick, like between the claps. That is hard to do. We have to practice that with something very, very small. So if this is the first time you've ever done Flash, please don't work on a monster. You're trying to learn how to do a dance on the wing of a biplane. That is not going to work well, right? Don't. That's up here. We're going to get to that. Try to find something that is small enough to where if Flash doesn't work for you, you're going to be able to go to sleep and be okay tonight. But yet it's got some heat in it, enough heat to where you can know if it's working or not, but not so much heat that you probably should spend a few weeks in intensive therapy on that thing. Probably don't do that, but yeah. So very quickly, we're going to think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. Those of you old enough to remember the metaphor of a hot potato. Sounds like how we used to torture children. Let's have a game where we toss around a scalding hot potato. So, but the point of the hot potato is that the moment it hits your hand, it must what? Be moving away from you. The moment it hits your hand, it must be moving away from you or you're about to get burned. And when we're first starting Flash, we want to touch the memory the way you touch a hot skillet with a wet finger to see if it's hot enough. That quick. If you hold your finger on the skillet, you're gonna get burned. It's gonna show up as overactivation in your body. This is really hard, but I promise it's easier to get people with complex trauma to microactivate than it is to set them on fire in EMDR a tolerable amount. So as hard as microactivation is, it's easier to get them to microactivate than it is to set them on fire, but just a wee bit. Okay? Good. So, and then we're in a loop. Loop, 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 back, forth, lightly activate, real quick, check. And let me walk through some language from step 3 to step 4 to step 5, back to step 4, just so that you can see the flow of this. This is not real. Don't practice this right now with trauma. Good. Can you think of a memory that you'd like to work on today? Client goes, yes. Good. Do all parts of you think first, this is an individual memory. I want to target a memory and not a theme, not a why did my mom not love me? It's a specific individual memory. Can you think of a memory at a particular place and time that happened at a particular place and time? Good. Do all parts of you think working on that memory is a good idea today? Oh, I'm getting a splitting headache. That's a no. Can we find a memory that all parts of you think working on is a good idea today? Okay, good. Check, good. Push it out of your awareness, look at a blank wall, ceiling, let me know when it's gone. Good. When it's gone, load up your calm scene. 7, 9, 2, 3, 6, 5 seconds apart, right? So that gets us to about 30 to 40 seconds. Good. How did that go? Good. Load up your not load up your calm scene. Well, we do that. Let me pause. In a single session, this is a little bit complicated, but it's important. In a single session, the first time we're in your calm scene, after we identify the memory, I want to repeat it. Why do I repeat it? Have you ever done a mindfulness strategy that took you a while to get into? I want to do 2 rounds in the calm scene because your calm scene is an active ingredient. I want to make sure you're really able to get into it quickly before I start pulling trauma into the plumbing of this thing. I want to make sure that calm scene is really going before I start pulling a little piece of trauma into it. So the first time you're in step 4, you repeat it. So again, load up your calm scene again. 5, 4, 9, 3, 6. Every 5 seconds. Good. How did that go? Excellent. Good. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory. Whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far away. Let me know when it's gone. It's gone. Good. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. 9, 8, 3, 2, 6. Every 5 seconds. Good. How did that go? Good. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory. You see the loop? We're in this. Now we've got this pump going where we're bringing a tiny piece of the memory into working memory and giving you 6 back-to-back experiences of it not happening. And then we get the next piece, and then 6 back-to-back experiences of it not happening. We're disrupting the calm scene, not unlike EMDR 2.0. We're disrupting the calm scene by giving you a disconfirming affect, by giving you a disconfirming experience. And then at some point, either in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes, it's going to take longer and longer for your client to find what's distressing. I'm going to say lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing, catch it, contain it, send it far away. When it's gone, calm scene. And by the way, that pace, I'm from Louisiana. That pace is not natural for me. Can you imagine, you have a friend that has a lovely meditation voice? Imagine we're doing Flash and they go, okay, Janet, I want you to think about the bad memory, lightning fast. It's just, but no. We're like, right? We're this. We're like, tick, click, 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 right? We're going quick, right? Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, catch it, contain it, send it far away, let me know when it's gone. Good. And after some time, they're going to do that and they're going to go, that's a long time. They had to like search that memory to find what's distressing. And when you have to do that, then we're going to start in the beginning and we're going to chronologically process each piece of distress at a time. Play the memory from the beginning. Let me know when you find the first piece. Got it, catch it, contain it, send it far away. Let me know when it's gone. Now we're in a step 6, step 4 loop. Okay, now we're in step 6. You got that piece of distress, catch it, contain it, send it far away. Let me know when it's gone. It's gone? Good. Calm scene. 9, 3, 4, 2, 7. 5 seconds apart. Good. That now we're back in step 6. We're not starting here, we're starting here because that's where our cursor has moved to. That piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? A tiny bit. Good. That tiny bit, scoop it up, send it far away, let me know when it's gone. Good. Calm scene. 3, 9, 8, 5, 6. Good. How did that go? Good. That piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it in this moment? Nope. Play it forward. I just got to the end of the memory. Good. Go back, play it again. Oh, it's a little bit. Good. Catch it, contain it, send it far away. Let me know when it's gone. When it's gone, calm scene, disrupt your calm scene. Good. That piece of the memory that just had distress in it, is there any distress in it at this moment? Nope. Play it forward. Got to the end of the memory. Go back, turn it up, look for even a tiny, tiny bit of distress, play it from beginning. Let me know when you find the first piece. Nope, no distress in that memory at all. Beginning to end, you're done. In Flash, beginning to end, you're done. Questions? There is not enough Flash. There's not enough distress. There's not enough distress in Flash for most therapists to believe it's real. And what I'm going to say is maybe Flash doesn't turn out to be the type of therapy that resonates for you. And that's okay. But I don't want it to be because there's not enough distress in it for you to believe it's real. Because why do your clients have to experience a certain level of suffering for you to be satisfied with it? Okay, so one of the reviews in the book, I'll put the predictive processing flash book that came out last month. I'll put it in chat, and you can see look at the PDF of it. One of the reviewers said that therapies are not inherently more legitimate because the client is suffering more in them, right? A therapy is not inherently more legitimate because the client is suffering more in it. I thought that was a very good summary of Flash. Because your clients aren't going to suffer much at all in Flash, but yet they're going to fully, permanently, adaptively heal. So I'm just letting you know there may be some skepticism that there's not enough distress for us to believe it's real. Even though your clients will tell you over and over and over that that memory feels over. I'm experiencing it as over. Yeah, Ashley.
For step 5, when we ask them to take that really quick peek
Mhm.
at the memory, are we asking just to like take a peek at the memory in general, or are we asking them to like for the distressing part of the
Yeah.
memory?
So what we're doing, the language is lightning fast. Think about the bad memory. Whatever is distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far away. So I'm not instructing them what piece to focus on. I'm just saying find the first piece of distress that comes out and catch it, contain it, send it far away. This piece, some clients process kind of chronologically. Other people, the memory comes like this. The pieces of it come like that. This piece may come 8 times in a row. And then this piece may come, that piece may come, and the piece that came 8 times in a row may come 4 more times. That's okay. When we're in the 5-4 loop, whatever piece wants to come comes. Think about it this way. Imagine the memory has distress in it like this. before we work on it. And what we're doing is we're just doing this, processing it down, right? Processing it down. And then in the last step, we're cleaning out debris, right? By the way, do you know what the analog for that is in EMDR therapy? It's steps 5 and 6, where we're cleaning out debris on the thought channel, and then we're cleaning out debris on the body channel. Okay. Questions? Carol.
Yeah, I'm still having confusion around getting someone used to a memory that isn't a big memory
Yeah.
and better language than find a memory.
Yeah.
So are you talking about, would it be easier to say an event than, because when I hear memory, I hear a lot.
I mean incident. Maybe
Okay,
an
that's a better
incident.
word. That's a
Mm-hmm.
better word for me because
Yeah.
incident means incident is an incident.
Yes.
It's a single event.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So what I
So,
mean when I say memory is really probably more what you're thinking of as incident, but it's something that lasts from a few moments to a few hours at the most. It does not span days. It does not
a
span.
few hours.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
big to me.
Well, if it's a few hours it's the beginning of an argument with a child where you were at your desk and they were upstairs for an hour and you came back and the argument continued. And then they went upstairs for a few hours and it came back and the argument continued. It may not be that big, right?
Okay, I'm
Or,
asking about the training of this, not
yeah.
that kind of, yeah, like the like first time visit, explaining this to someone.
Yeah. So we're going to start with whoever is stressing you. What's a recent incident where they were getting on your nerves? And that's what we're going to target, that particular incident where they're getting on your nerves. Yeah. And it's not trauma, because we don't want to start in flash with trauma. We're going to start with just something that's frustrating. A recent time when your teen was being a teenager and really being whatever, whether it's insensitive or rude or lying or whatever they're doing.
Or something that could just piss you off, that pissed you
Something
off.
that can
Like
piss you off. It could be watching something on the news, but watching stuff on the news
yeah,
could very quickly become
that's too big.
existential.
That's too big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. Step 7, page 18. It's the same thing, except so imagine this. Imagine we processed an argument with a partner in which they said, "Why do you have to be so?" Or whatever it is they said. They said something. Um, we processed that argument, it resolved. Guess what? You still have this partner. In the next few weeks, next few months, they may do something similar. Can you think of a time when you all may have a something in the future related to the past memory that would be helpful to leverage? Yeah. Okay, they're going to have the same argument. Okay, and we fill out the situation a little bit. What's the argument about? Where's it happening? What are they saying? We're filling it out a little bit because unlike a past experience, we don't want to target the next time we have a fight. That's too vague. I want to target like what's it about? What are you fighting about? What is it that's upsetting in it? And as soon as we fill out that future scene a little bit, I'm like, good. Push it out of your awareness, blank it out, look at a blank ceiling, blank wall, let me know when it's gone. Okay? Load up your calm scene, let me know when you're there. They load up their calm scene when they're there. We do our numbers. And then I say, how did that go? Good. Lightning fast. Think about the future scene. Whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far away. When it's gone, calm scene. We do this until the client's having a hard time finding what's distressing in the future scene. And then we play the video of the future scene, digesting each piece of distress as we go along. Flash future templates with resolved past memories take about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And they're really, really helpful. analogous to like behavioral rehearsal. They're very analogous. They're really helpful in letting your nervous system develop a new script, new programming. When that thing is happening, it can select a new set of predictions instead of the old ones. Okay, your brain can select a new course instead of the old ones. So future template is very, very good in helping clients leverage behavioral change toward more concrete actions that serve them. Anything that you would do a future template around in EMDR, you can do a future template around in Flash. Okay, where page 20, where this version of Flash breaks and how to fix it, you've already guessed it, overactivation. This is a therapy that works because we're not flooding you. As a matter of fact, let's slow this down. Looking at a memory orders of magnitude faster than you've ever looked at a memory is itself likely to generate prediction error. Now, if you look at the memory too long, wallop, right? It's okay. We have vacuum. If it's too big, we have grounding. And if you don't know what to do in Flash, ground. Just ground. Find your smell, find your temperature, the way. Find ground. Ground, ground, ground. If you don't know what to do, ground. Okay? Problems containing or sending away are not problems with the container. They're problems of overactivation. If this comes out of the bad memory, that's very easy to container. If a London street bus comes out and it's sitting on your chest and I say contain that, that's the wrong resource. We need to ground. Okay, ground and then vacuum. Okay. By the way, grounding is containment. Don't lose track of that. Grounding is containment. Grounding shifts precision weighting toward the present moment. Okay? It's also what containment does when it's working. If we've been doing this a while and the client's like the same piece of the memory is coming, but I don't feel it shifting in 15 or 20 minutes of doing this, I'm going to say, how does a pleasant scene feel? Oh, I've been bored with it for 12 minutes. Well, that's our problem. Your pleasant scene needs to shift your affective state quickly. And if you're bored with it, do you know what a whole lot of childhood feels like if you have an attachment wound? It feels boring. It feels existentially boring and alone. So your pleasant scene needs to be inducing an affect shift. And if it's not, Flash isn't likely to work. If your client, right before we start working on a memory, if they have a huge wave of something, a splitting headache, nausea, it's probably a part you didn't ask the parts question or your parts didn't feel comfortable answering. We need to find a memory that doesn't cause a wave of no before we start. Your parts need to be willing to work on this and work on this in this way. That's an important part because getting consent doesn't just mean to all parts of you think working on this memory is a good idea. Do your parts consent to working in this way? Let me give an example. Do you have a memory that if I told you you could heal from it without hardly any distress at all? Do you think you might have parts that are like, F that? I want to get mad. I need to get mad. If that is not a memory you need to work on with Flash today, what I'm going to say is if you're prepared and you've done your initial orientation sessions, I'm going to say, what about a memory that's just gross, that you don't want to feel in your viscera? Can we just do this and get it out of you? Okay. So getting consent isn't just getting consent to resolve this memory. It's getting consent to resolve this memory in this way. And our parts will have, think about it. If it was that easy for me to heal, Why have I been such a whiny brat about this for the last 50 years? Right? So we need to be prepared to answer those questions. If I can heal while watching puppies, and you know what I say? I'm saying, look, this way of thinking is only a decade old, and less than 2% of 1% of therapists are doing Flash, right? It's like this is a whole new paradigm in healing. The idea that you can heal without just reliably, predictably, consistently heal without feeling awful is astonishing, astonishing. So we need to get consent from parts to do it. I'm going to run through some quick safety stuff, and then we'll take a few-minute break, let y'all use the restroom, get a drink, and then we'll come back and practice this together, and then we'll answer your questions at the end, and then I'm going to connect you with literally 75 or 80 potential hours of ongoing learning consultation to where you can do this with your clients. Your clients with really complex trauma urgently need to heal. We are trauma therapists. Nobody else on the planet can do this work. The pastoral counselor can't do it. The case manager can't do it. The psychiatrist can't do it. The primary care doctor can't do it. It's our job to help people unburden and heal. And we have to start helping people do that in even in weird ways that may not align with how we ourselves prefer to heal in our own therapy. Okay. So page 21. Please don't use an imaginary calm scene. Flash is too fast for it. Okay. Don't use an imaginary calm scene. Use a YouTube video. Be sensible about the memory that you're going to select. It's late. At least it is here. It's late on a Thursday. I'm going to bed in an hour and a half or so. I don't work on a monster. If the stress is coming from that memory, at any point, you must stop, deal with that distress, and do not go forward until that distress is moving away from you. We do not push into distress, not 1/100th of 1 ounce. We work one memory at a time in this version of Flash, period. And if other memories want to come, that may be an indication that you're already overly activated, because other memories probably want to come because your body's feeling a way that feels familiar, and they're being drawn by the magnet of the overactivation that's already in your body. So things have already gone off a cliff, and now they're about to go off more cliffs. So if other memories want to come, stop. Stop. Get out of sync with me. Mute me if you need to. Why are other memories wanting to come? Do I have the stress in my body I need to vacuum out? Okay. And if not, you need to switch to another memory where a whole cascade of other memories aren't going to want to come. Um, good. If you're having trouble getting only a little bitty tiny piece of the memory, you can use your little ball, your little paper ball, and throw it up and catch it and send it away. Or you need to find a memory that's small enough for you to do. If the bad memory shows up in your calm scene, you have to stop, catch it. You know what the great thing about a piece of a memory showing up in the calm scene is? It's really easy to know what's coming in because it's what's not your calm scene, right? Whatever it is that's getting your attention that's not your calm scene, that's what you need to stop, catch, send a billion miles away. And then when it's going away from you, then you go into your calm scene. And if grief comes, you're working on a memory with grief. If grief comes, we don't flash grief, we feel it. Stop, let yourself feel it, get out of sync with me. Feel it, experience it. Let it move, let the wave move through you. Then when it settles, if it feels like another wave's not coming, pick right back up with your calm scene, right? We don't process grief in flash. We grieve by grieving. So if grief wants to come, let yourself feel it. Okay. Questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you clarify when you use the vacuuming versus the grounding? Is the vacuuming just for a lower level of distress?
Yes, vacuuming is when this has happened, right? Grounding is when that's happened, right? Grounding is when, let's think about it this way. Containing is we're catching it here. Whatever's coming out of the memory, we're catching it here. Vacuuming is when it hits our body. Okay. And grounding is when it hits us like a Mack truck, or it hits us very strongly, or it grabs us and pulls us into the memory. When it's like, when it's taken, yeah, that's what yeah. So if you have some activation in your body, see if it responds to vacuum. If it doesn't respond to vacuum, stop and ground. Yep. So in orders of like strength, grounding's typically the most powerful resource we have. And if you're really activated, just ground. Stop and ground. If you notice distress from that memory in your body, see if you can vacuum it. And if you can't vacuum it, ground. Okay. All right. Shall we take a few-minute break? Let's take about a 4-minute break, come back, and we'll practice this for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. We may not be able to fully resolve something, but we'll give it a shot. Okay? All right, welcome back. All right, so we're about to do group flash together. Good. Did you hear me when I said don't work on the biggest monster in your trauma container? I want you all to have a good experience with flash. And if you work with a monster, you're almost certainly not likely to. Okay? I'm going to keep an eye on chat. If you have questions, you can message me, or in the very back of in the very back of the thing, in the back of the training manual, there's a safety sheet that has all kinds of bulleted items that will guide you what to do if you're having a difficulty. Okay, so message me. I can help you out. I can still lead the group and message you. What we're doing is we're going to do 2 rounds in the calm scene first before we select the memory. We do 2 rounds in the calm scene with numbers, and then we select the memory. And then we do another round of the calm scene with numbers, and then we go. Go, 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 go. If you pick the memory so small that it resolves pretty quickly, it's going to resolve in 20 minutes or so, and you think you're done, remember that you're not done until you play the video of it. You have to play the video of it and digest each piece of distress as you go along until you can play the video beginning to end seamlessly. Now, all of you are going to arrive at that point at a different place. Those of you that feel like you've mostly resolved the memory by just looking at it quickly, on your own, you need to pivot to the video. And so when I say really quickly think about the memory, you're going to have to start playing it and clean out each little piece of distress as we go along. But most of you aren't going to be able to resolve a memory in the time that we're working. So, but if you are, don't forget you're not done until you digest every piece of distress in the video of the bad memory. Any questions before we start? All right, load up your calm scene. Remember, your calm scene is healing you. It's got to be fun, engaging, pleasant. It's got to grab you. The calm scene, I want to have a magnet. Remember, the bad memory wants to pull you in. I want you to have a magnet to go to. I want your calm scene to be so engaging, it like pulls you away from the activation of the bad memory. Okay? Awesome. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. Awesome. 2, find the 2, go right back into your calm scene. And put it where you don't have to turn too much or you make yourself dizzy. Put your numbers closer to where your screen is. Awesome. 5, 3, 1, 7, and 2. Okay, good. How'd that go? Were you able to find your way into the calm scene despite me pulling you out of it? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Good. We do it 2 rounds anyway. First round, we do it 2 rounds anyway. Load up your calm scene. Let me know when you're there. Awesome. 0, 6, 2, 5, and 9. Okay, good. How'd that go? How are y'all doing? Okay, good. Good. Is there a memory you thought you wanted to work on today? And can you find a single individual something that happened at a particular place and time? And do all parts of you think working on that memory is a good idea today? Check. And if so, push the general idea of it out of your awareness, look at a blank wall ceiling, blank it out. And when it's gone, calm scene. Use your resources at any time. If even just selecting the memory caused activation, yep, use your resources to manage it. Calm scene. 3, 1, 8, and 2. Okay, good. How'd that go? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. You doing okay? Okay. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Like that quick? Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory. Use your hand. Whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. So be in your calm scene. 9, 3, 1, 1, and 6. Okay, good. How'd that go? How are y'all doing? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Okay, if you're struggling, do you know why? Okay, if you're struggling, do you know why? Try to troubleshoot it. Okay, if not, message me. Awesome. Here we go. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond. Catch it, contain it. Send it a billion miles away. When it's gone, calm scene. Yep. Give your whole attention to your calm scene. 8, 3, 2, 1, and 6. Okay, good. How did that go? Okay, good. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment. Catch it, contain it. Send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 6, 7, 4, 3, and 0. Okay, good. How'd that go? How are y'all doing? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Okay, now's a real good time to check your body. If that memory's hanging out in your body anywhere, vacuum it out real quick or do some grounding. Send it away. When it's gone, calm scene. Load up your calm scene. It's okay to get out of sync with me to do resources. right? Just come back in after you've regulated. Good. Calm scene. 9. 3. 4. 1. And 6. Okay, good. How'd that go? How are y'all doing? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. All right, here we go. Hot potato. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory. Whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it. Send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Use your resources if you need to. Otherwise, hang out in your calm scene. Your calm scene's it's got to be fun. Good. 2. 9. 7. 0. And 3. Awesome. How are y'all doing? Good. If your calm scene gets boring or needs to be more exciting, spin around just changing it. Get out of sync with me, change your calm scene, make it more engaging if you need to. All right, good, lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 7. 3. 1. 4. And 1. Okay, good. How'd that go? Doing all right? Good. Lightning fast, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. If you're having trouble, message me. 0. 1. 9. 2. And 4. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Probably another good time. Check your body. Make sure that memory's not hanging out in your body. If it is, vacuum it out real quick. Good. Calm scene. 3. 2. 9, 6, 4, and 1. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Good. Very quickly. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Five, 2, 8, 1, and 0. Okay, good. How'd that go? You're doing okay? Good. Remember, if you think the memory's resolved, play your video of it and clean up debris in it. But if you're still on track, let's keep going. Lightning fast, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, use your hand, send it far away. When it's gone, calm scene. Six, 1, 3, 8, and 0. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Good. Very quickly. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 4, 9, 7, and 0. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Very quickly, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 5, 2, 7, 6, and 0. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Good. If you played the video and the memory's resolved for you, just hang out in your calm scene without blinking. Time will pass super quick. Okay? Um, Excellent. I'll check in on y'all maybe about 10 minutes. Do another 10 minutes of this, check in on you and see how you're doing. All right, lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it a billion miles away. When it's gone, calm scene. Just hang out in your calm scene. 8, 3, 6, 2, and 1. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 6, 3, 9, 1, and 8. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Very quick. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it a billion miles away. When it's gone, calm scene. 2, 1, 4, 8, and 3. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Lightning fast. Think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 9, 4, 2, 3, and 7. Okay, how'd that go? Okay, good. Probably do another 5 or 6 rounds. Lightning fast, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 6, 2, 0, 1, and 4. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Lightning fast, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 5, 8, 2, 9, and 3. Okay, good. How'd that go? Good. 2 more rounds. Lightning fast, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this millisecond, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 6, 8, 3, and 1. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. Last round. Lightning fast, think about the bad memory, whatever's distressing in this moment, catch it, contain it, send it far, far away. When it's gone, calm scene. 2, 7, 4, 3, and 6. Okay, good. How'd that go? Okay, good. How are y'all doing? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down. Doing all right? Okay, good. Awesome. If you didn't get to finish the memory, sorry. Come to a practice group. We'll wrap it up for you. Or after you really get Flash down, you can do it self-administered. Flash is really effective self-administered. And everybody here has a stressful job. So, yeah. Questions, having experienced it. There's a question in chat about kind of like fatigue with neurodiversity. That can come from lots of things. One of the things it may come from is there's a lot of rapid task switching in Flash. Neurodivergent nervous systems sometimes don't like that. They don't like rapid task switching. Some neurodivergent nervous systems do really good with and some struggle, and that struggle may be reflected in fatigue. Yeah. Yep. And often sometimes neurodivergent nervous systems will say, um, but my mind's going everywhere. I'm like, does your mind go everywhere when you're doing almost anything? Yes. So we don't need your brain to be different in Flash than it is in other things. Just keep bringing it back as best you can. Bring it back to your pleasant scene, and your mind can do other things as long as it's not thinking about the bad memory. It's okay, right? Do you often watch YouTube videos and think about what you're going to eat tomorrow for lunch? That's okay. Right? But if your mind's focused enough on the pleasant scene, it can be okay. Carol, go ahead.
Couple of things. My calm space was sensory,
Yeah,
and I do have a trickiness around task switching fast.
yeah,
And I just forgot what I was going. No. So I don't have a video, and I think that would be fun to have
yeah,
because I was really calm, like too calm maybe.
yeah.
And how would you do the video? Like I'm just on the screen now. Would I do that with a phone or how would you do that?
Well, you'd minimize Zoom, but you can still hear me. And you would open up YouTube, and YouTube would
Just
take up the screen. Yeah, I would just be minimized somewhere, and YouTube would be in front of me probably. But you
so
just hear my voice over. And then the YouTube video plays the whole time.
so it plays the whole time.
Hmm.
So I'm having the sounds of that, but I need to hear the sounds of you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can adjust the volume in YouTube so that it's not overpowering me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And this one, there was a bit of I had a physical pain in my memory and it disappeared, which was interesting.
Okay, good. Awesome. Falak, am I saying your name right? How am I?
Yeah, it's Spalak, but
Falak, yeah.
thank you. So when you're doing the okay, contain it, capture it, contain it, throw it away, we definitely don't want to overactivate, but is there something like underactivating? Like I almost feel like, oh, okay, wait, that was so fast. I
Yeah.
don't even know if I have the distress. Just thinking about the memory and getting a visual and then tossing it away is
Yeah,
enough.
it
Um,
is, especially if it's visual, especially if it's part of the visual that if it normally plays would generate distress. So
okay.
if you know in that memory, when you play out your father going, you're so stupid, if you just get the yuck and you know that normally has distress in it, but you didn't get distress in it, that's okay.
Mhm.
Remember, we're trying to process the memory as information rather than as distress. And that feels a lot like separating the wet from water. So it's also true that if you don't touch the memory at all, but you only think about thinking about the memory, you may not activate enough to actually cause the memory to update. So the thing about our hot skillet is you have to touch the skillet, but there's a way to touch a hot skillet so fast with a wet finger that you don't feel the heat at all. You just get the and you don't feel the heat at all. And so there's
Okay.
not a
That's practice.
consequence.
Mhm.
There's not a consequence to getting too little. There is a consequence to getting too much. And I'd rather you err on the side because even engaging with the memory and not being able to activate because of how fast you're engaging, that also is generating prediction error. So now if you engage it and you burn yourself and you're flooded with affect, that's confirmation and that's reinforcing. So yes, you have to touch the memory to update it. You have to touch to update. You have
Okay.
to activate a particular piece of the generative model of yourself in the world to update it. Okay, you have to access it in consciousness to update it, but you don't have, I would say in a perfect flash session, of which I've never seen one. I've never seen a perfect flash session. In a perfect flash session, we process the memory only as information and not as distress at all. So there's like no distress in a perfect flash session, but such things don't exist, which is why we have our resources ready. Yeah. Diane.
I just wonder if we could come back just for a second to the neurodivergent component, because I'm ADHD, so I have kind of the opposing struggles between autism and ADHD. But I almost wondered, like, I had baby Highland cows, right? Because it wasn't going to trigger my curiosity, but it was also really calming, because the curiosity would have been a problem. But I got incredibly fatigued the further along. As the charge went down, the fatigue went up. And I wonder how much of that is due to, as the charge goes down, the dopamine comes down,
It
right?
may. It may also, this is another thing just to consider, but a whole lot of times when clients say, I'm getting tired, I'm going to ask, are you getting tired or are you relaxing? Because if clients that run 30-year sleep deficits, the calm scene and healing relaxes you. And they'll be like, this flash is exhausting me. I'm like, is it exhausting you or are you relaxing and you haven't slept well in 30 years? And that's what happens when our nervous system is finally relaxing. So I'm not sure. I trust your own intuition about where you feel, where it feels like the source of it is. Um, what I find generally is that neurodivergent clients in Flash, there are often some hiccups that show up in the beginning that do get better as it becomes more of an automated body movement process. I think among my neurodivergent clients, our parts are more likely than other parts to go, what is happening? I don't know that I like that. What is even going on? It just takes them a little bit of time to line up and sync and go, okay, yeah, this is better than feeling it, the full crap of it. Well, okay, we whatever. We'll roll with it. Yeah. So thank you. Melissa, still muted.
I noticed that the activation, like the memory kind of intruding a little bit into the calm space. And then when I changed the music I was listening to, like that, I could see the benefit of that kind of re-immersing me in the music.
Yeah.
But then I was also trying out, when that happened another time, I tried putting a funny video and the music, like so the sound and the visual, that seemed to like really make it easier to
Yeah.
reduce that
Yeah.
intrusion. So that,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I started singing along. I was just like playing with like how
Yeah.
much immersion in the calm space, and that I could see how that would really be helpful in a more activated memory system.
Absolutely. And remember, if it's showing up in your calm scene, the first thing to try is to send it 1 billion miles further away than you sent it last time. You have to really see it past Saturn, past Pluto, past. You have to really send it far away. Yeah, John.
Yeah, you had a step 7 process future scene.
Yes, we talked about that briefly in the sense that it's the same. Just instead of quickly think about the bad memory, you quickly think about the future scene. And whatever's distressing in this millisecond, you catch it, contain it. And then when the client has a hard time finding what's distressing in the future scene, then you play the video of the future scene, digesting each piece as you go along. Okay.
All right, so it's basically the same process, but you're
Same process, different object. Yep.
all right.
Same exact process. Yep.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Good. Mark, and then I want to give you resources to wind down. Yep. Mark,
Okay,
go ahead.
thank you. I felt I felt the resolution in the actual memory itself, but so I could go back to my comm scene and I could feel it and I could play that whole clip and it felt resolved. But I know that I have this feeling in my body that later in that memory there is something else unresolved.
Yeah.
So is that natural intersection just because of the way the mind overlaps.
Well, that you didn't get to that piece yet.
Right. So it's just further
So
processing.
absolutely, more processing will resolve it. So Flash doesn't resolve what you don't touch. That's why we have to like touch
Gotcha.
all the parts of the memory that have some distress in it. Yeah. So that's just we just didn't have enough time for you to resolve that memory. Okay, here's
Gotcha.
what I'm going to do because I don't want to keep you any longer. I'm going to send everybody an email with a link to the video. In that email, I'm going to send you a link to the refresher, the consultation groups that I do every 2 weeks, and I'm going to send you a link to the practice groups that I do every week. So I do the consultation every other week. I do the practice groups every week. But before I send you the link, I need to add more of them. So I'm going to add more of them to the calendar, and I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to add links for the practice groups into February, and the consultation groups I'm going to add through the end of the year. So that'll be in the link. Just look for the video. It'll say like recording of flash training on August 6th. So look for that link. It'll have that email will have the other pages that you need to access the ongoing resources. Come back to this anytime you want. It's a lot of information to throw at you in 3 hours. Come back, get a refresher anytime you need to. You can also come to day 4 of the refresher that I'm doing. So I'm going to put this in the email too. EMDR Cleveland at the top, there's a refresher. Day 4 of the refresher, you don't have to be an EMDR therapist. Come to it. We have breakouts where you can practice Flash for free with another therapist. You can do practice groups. So you can get into the refresher day 4 for free using the code prepaid. Prepaid gets you into that, or Flash, either one. Flash or prepaid gets you into that day 4 practice for free. You're welcome to come. If you're worried about wanting to do this with another therapist without risking much harm up for your client. Yeah, so you're welcome to do that too. Thanks everybody for coming. Be
Great.
in
Thanks, Tom.
touch
Thank
and let
you.
me know how
Thank
I
you.
can
Thanks so
help.
much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Take care. Y'all take care.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Great. Nice again. Great training.
Thank you. Y'all take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.